On this episode of Bobscaping, we're looking at soil test results from samples we took from a lawn 2 months ago at the beginning of October. Here we see results that came back from the Merkel lab at Penn State on the main campus. And the primary things that are tested for are soil pH, phosphorus, and potassium. The main thing most people are after on these tests is the soil pH, and of course there are meters that you can use to test your soil without going to the lab. But these lab results provide additional details that are helpful to most people. As you can see on this soil test, the soil pH came back at 6.3. Now, soil pH is a logarithmic scale. In other words, it's on powers of 10, meaning that a soil pH of 6 is 10 times more acidic than pH 7, with pH 7 being neutral. So most plants ideally grow in a range of 6.5 to 7.2. In this case, being a lawn, with a pH of 6.3, the recommendation is to apply 50 pounds per 1,000 square feet of agricultural limestone. Your typical limestone is calcium carbonate. You also see products that are dolomitic lime. Dolomitic lime contains more magnesium. So here we see it calls for 50 pounds per 1,000 square feet. And since this lawn measured around 8,000 square feet, 8 times 50 would be 400 pounds. Now you could use the powdered lime since it's less expensive. We used to buy it in 80-pound bags, and those were pretty heavy and difficult to handle. And of course your powdered lime like that tends to bridge over the openings in the spreader. It's just difficult to spread. So in later years we got to where we used all pelletized lime, and pelletized lime is powdered and then turned back into a pellet form so that it's more easily spread. So back to the soil test, you can also see that phosphorus and potassium levels were considered below optimum. So down below here you see there are some specific fertilizer recommendations, different possible fertilizer analysis, and how many pounds you would apply of each and when to apply them. This is calling for a mid-spring application in May, a late summer in September, and a late fall in November. So 3 different applications of each particular fertilizer at a particular rate. So that's very helpful to most people. The soil test also provides some additional details at the bottom. CEC would be the ability of the soil to hold nutrients. And then some people get into this magnesium-calcium ratio, which isn't super important, but in this case it's a 6-to-1 ratio, which is considered okay. If you wanted to boost your calcium or magnesium, you would use a product that's specific to those. Again, the dolomitic limes have more magnesium. A ratio of 4-to-1 to 7-to-1 is considered okay. So the 6-to-1 here. Here we look at another soil test that was taken back in 2013, and here we see a soil pH of 6.2, and the limestone recommendation is 70 pounds per 1,000 square feet. And on this one, the potassium is actually optimum. That's the third number on the fertilizer label. Fertilizer labels typically have 3 primary nutrients listed. The first would be nitrogen, second is phosphorus, and the third is potassium. Abbreviations for those are N, P, and K. And on this one, CEC was 21. It's pretty good for this part of Pennsylvania. And the magnesium-calcium ratio was 6:1. Again, good. And then our third soil test from 2013, we see the soil pH was 6. Now again, a pH of 6 is 10 times more acidic than pH 7. So this particular test is calling for 90 pounds per 1,000 square feet of lime. And this goes further to state if you ever have a recommendation over 100 pounds per 1,000, you're supposed to split the application. In other words, never put on more than 100 pounds in one application. So 90 pounds on this one to get it up into the desirable growing range. And I also noticed the CEC is a little low on this one, 12.9, and the calcium to magnesium ratio is 3:1. So probably ideal on this one, you'd use a straight calcium carbonate and stay away from the dolomitic lime that has more magnesium in it. Okay, so that's kind of a quick view of soil test results. For more details, I'll list some website links on detailed pages I put up on fertilizers and lime. So for this episode of Bobscaping, this is Bob.